Hello, welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to be performing SQL injection at medium level security. In our last lesson, we did SQL injection at low security, where we had a text input box and we could type whatever we wanted. Well, let's assume the developers saw that vulnerability and they tried to fix it. But we are going to show them that their fix doesn't work. So we are going to bypass their protection by using Burp Suite. If you come here and then you change this to medium and you submit, then come to SQL injection. At medium security, you can see that the developers made some changes. They replaced the text box with a drop-down menu. That is, you can select 1 through 5. No typing is allowed. And if you come to view source code here, you are going to see that they have added MySQLi real escape string for some filtering at the back end. So they are thinking that no text input means no SQL injection, because users can only select from our drop-down here. But the thing is, the drop-down menu is client-side validation. It only restricts what you can select in your browser. The real data is still being sent to the server as a post request. And you can see that here. This means that we can intercept that request and modify it before it reaches the server. That is where Burp Suite comes in. Client-side validation is not real security, and we are going to prove that in this lesson. Let's get right into it. If you've not loaded your DVWA, the first thing you need to do is to open your browser and load it. Here is the URL that you can use. And if you're here to set up your DVWA, you can check one of my previous videos titled Setting up DVWA in Kali and VirtualBox, your first hacking playground. That video is going to guide you. Now that we have access to our DVWA and then we are now on the medium level of SQL injection, let's try to bypass. Let me first show you what happens normally. Let's select one and click submit. You can see that it shows the ID 1, first name admin, surname admin. This is a normal behavior. So let me try selecting 3, then click submit. You can see that it shows ID 3, first name hack, and surname me. So this means that the drop-down works normally. But you'll notice that we cannot type our payload, which is 1 or 1 equals 1 anymore, or maybe 20 or 1 equals 1. We can't do that again because the drop-down won't let us do that. But you might be thinking that game over. No, it's not over yet. Do you know why? Because the drop-down is only restricting the input in the browser. The actual request being sent to the server can still be modified. And that is what we are going to be using the Burp Suite for. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is to open our Burp Suite. I have access to the two Burp Suites, whether community or pro, but anyone can work for this. You can use either the community version or the pro version, but I am going to be using the pro version. And I'll be running this command. If you don't have pro version set up, you can just use your community edition. So my Burp Suite is starting now. So I will just set it up, click on start Burp. Now that my Burp Suite interface is up, I can come to proxy because that is where I need most. And initially in my previous video, I showed you how you can use Firefox to intercept, but here I do not really need Firefox because I can use my open browser here, which is the Chromium that exists inside. So I can just open the Chromium browser and you can see that the interface is up. So I can try to minimize this as well, so that they can be side by side. Copy the link from here and bring it here. But if you're already using Firefox, you don't need to bring the link here. You can just use your Firefox directly and Burp Suite is going to capture the request automatically. And now we are on the admin page, so then we can try to log in. So now we have logged in. So the next thing we are going to do is to come to SQL injection as we did earlier, then check the security level to medium. And now the medium level is activated. Then we're going to come to SQL injection. But before we select any of this, we are going to come here and then turn on our intercept. After turning that on, then we're going to come here and try to click on submit. And you can see that our request was captured immediately and there is no response because our Chromium currently is stuck loading because our intercept is on. And this is what the request looks like. You can see that we are having ID equals to 1 ampersand submit equals submit. Also, if you look at the cookie here, you are going to see like the cookie and then you're going to see the security set to medium. The next thing we want to do to this is to change this ID equals to 1 into ID equals to 1 or 1 equals 1, just the way we did it for low. But this time around, we are not going to be adding quotation marks to it. So what we are going to do next is to add or 1 equals 1, and we can now click on forward here, the forward button, and see what we are going to get. And once you click on the forward button, you can see that it gave us the data to all the users in the database. Originally, the statement that should be going to the database when we select 1 is just select first name, comma last name from users where user ID is equals to 1. But now that we set the ID to be 1 or equals to 1, the query going to the database will change to become select first name, comma last name from users where user ID equals to 1 or 1 equals 1. And since 1 equals 1 is a statement or a condition that is true, then it is going to dump all the data in the user table of that database. And that is why we are seeing all the users in the database here. So the next one I'm going to do is to try to dump the username and the password. So I can come here, click on submit while my intercept is still on, and then come here and try to change this one into 1 union select user comma password from users, then add my hash. Then I can come here and then try to forward it. And the moment I forwarded it, you can see that I'm seeing the first name, the surname, and the password. You can see that here. This is the ID, the first name, password, ID, first name, password. So what I want to do next is to try to crack this password, because these are hashed values. For me to crack it, so what I can do is to come here and search for crackstation.net. Then I can load that. Then the password I copied, I can paste it here, check this box, then crack hashes. And the moment I try to crack the hashes, you can see that the result, the real password value is ABC123. That is the plain text, but this is the hash value. So if I want to log in into this user's account now, that is Gordon B, I just need to type in Gordon B as the username, then type in ABC123 as the password. Then I'm in. But before we go, I would like to give you an assignment and a challenge, which is a task that you must do. So here is the assignment. The first thing you're going to do is to set DVWA to medium security and confirm that the drop-down menu appears. Second, configure Burp Suite proxy in Firefox. You can also install your SSL certificate in case you are having an issue with your Firefox loading your DVWA. This can be a solution to that. But if that still gives you a problem, you can just use your Chromium inside the Burp Suite directly. The third thing you're going to do is to successfully intercept and modify at least 3 different SQL injection attacks, extract all users with 1 or 1 equals 1, get database version. Also, you can get the database name with this. And the fourth thing is that you need to take the screenshots, then share it with us in our community. This is the link to our community. It's going to be added to the description of this video as well. You can check that. That's all for the assignment. The challenge is that if you look at the scenario we considered in this lesson, the developers thought using a drop-down menu would prevent SQL injection attacks. So in your own words, try to explain why this doesn't work and what would be the proper way to prevent SQL injection on the server side. If you can write a secure PHP code using prepared statements, that is going to be a bonus mark. And I can show you what that looks like. What it will look like is this. So this is what a prepared statement looks like in PHP. So in case you are working with an organization and you've detected that a system is susceptible to SQL injection, they can use a query like this, which is a prepared statement, to prevent that. So that's all for this video. If you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please do that now. Also, do not forget to like, share, and comment on our video. Thank you so much, and see you in the next lesson.